are back with Mayor John Cooper, and something I want to ask you, of all the things you've listed as accomplishments in your first year report, are you concerned that the only one that will be remembered will be the 34% property tax increase that you and council approved in June?
Sure, you're worried about that, but I think that's going to allow us to be remembered for a lot of other things that are more important to the city. That we fix the finances, which have become chronic, and the referendum would make it permanent. That we're able to, manage public health. We're able to have the right public safety program and system going forward. You have tackled affordable housing, but every great thing, we fix schools. I mean, ultimately, I and the council want to be known as the people that fixed stuff. And the first thing to fix is the budget. And until you fix the budget, you can't really fix anything else. You can have a platform for a great city. Even after this property tax referendum, it's really highlighting that our taxes, we're still the lowest tax city in the state. The state is the lowest tax state in the country. No one knows of another city with a lower property tax rate. The referendum would permanently install us with a 50% lower tax rate than Chattanooga or Knoxville. How are we going to be a great city if we're 50% less than Chattanooga and Knoxville? I mean, it's those of us who've been on the council and worked the problem over the years. This is really the way to fix it, and no one else has proposed a balanced budget path to fix it. For a long time, we've all said to people, we know you're unhappy. Show us, what are your ideas? There's never been an actual idea that was balancing the budget that was anything other than this path. So mostly politicians are appropriately run down for, not showing enough courage. Well, this is a moment of courage. This is a moment of leadership. This is everything that people mostly despise politicians for, we're in fact doing. And here's another odd thing about the referendum. People go, tax and spend. Yes, we all object to tax and spend. There's no spend here. It's not like we're spending this tax revenue out in the government. Our spending is flat, and we had no cash. I wasn't able to pay police or firemen maybe in July. The cash balances, the cash reserves had all gone to zero. You're in the middle of a pandemic. Your property tax, your sales taxes are disappearing under your feet. That's why I've always said it's unthinkable, it's terrible, it's awful, but it's necessary.
Are you feeling any blowback from the governor?
Well, the governor and I want the same things. We want an economy that's strong. We want the healthcare challenges to be managed, and we want great schools. We do have different views about how to get there. And now, the state has a lot of money from this CARES Act that has to be spent by the end of December, and the city had $122 million allocated straight to the city. We've been very careful with that money. We have 6 prominent business people and 3 council people on a committee that listens to needs, trying to fill needs from the community, and then the council has appropriated every dollar. So we have a process. We've accounted for about $90 million of that 122. There's not that much left. And you do hear that maybe the state has a lot of unspent money. Well, it's our job, my job, to advocate for our city for unspent CARES money. We have a population that is hurting and needs help. We've accounted for every dime here, and we're going to be spending a ton more than this in the city. I mean, that money ends in December. The disease is going to go along a lot longer than that. We're still going to have health care expenses, and we do shoulder a lot of the burden for the state. 18% of the people in our assessment centers are not from Davidson County, but we still serve those people too. We are proudly that regional center for Middle Tennessee. We're the jobs creator, the incubator. We also have had a path of being hurt the most as a city. We have density, prisons, hospitals, nursing homes. We always should have been the #1 worst county in the state, but because Nashvillians got busy and worked together, we're like 77th worst in the state. If we in Memphis had not changed, we'd be in a much more difficult environment right now going forward, and there would be pressure to control the disease with blunt measures, closures, restrictions. Now we're in the phase of being able to have openings and careful management. Don't let the disease control us. Let us control the disease.
Something that's taking a hit during these days of COVID is the long-term nursing home facility in Bordeaux. It's been an integral part of the city's legal obligation for years, and now it's going to be closing down. What happens to those people? Where did they go?
Vicki, I'm so glad you asked this question, because there's been a lot of, I think, misinformation and misunderstanding. Back in 2014, the council gave a contract to a private operator, Signature, that the private sector was going to be managing that facility. Now, Signature, over the years, with COVID, all nursing companies have gotten stressed, has elected not to renew that contract. That's a tough news for us to hear in the middle of the pandemic, but they're a private operator. That's part of private business. They have the right not to renew that contract. We, of course, have gone out and tried to solicit other operators to come and fill in, but the nursing industry is stretched. So right now we have a commitment to all the residents and the employees to look after them. Now, there is a chance for the residents, I do think, to be moved to much higher rated nursing homes. There's capacity in 3- and 4-star nursing homes, so you could go from a 1-star to a 3- or 4-star. And Nashville is going to try to manage that best outcome for every single person, and also the employees. But now, I was just told today, Signature, I think, got PPP money, which is given to companies so they're not laying off employees. I'm a little puzzled as to how this happens if you've received PPP money, but it is one of the many management challenges in the city to serve all of our people. And we're going to do that, but everybody needs to remember, when you contract with a private party, they can leave you, and then could you get somebody else to come in? We've been trying to get somebody to come in. We can't do it in a blank check situation, right? Here's a check, you fill it in, what it's going to cost us. We are currently serving, I think, about 120 residents. We need good outcomes for every resident and for every employee. The capacity there is, I think, 450 or 500, so you can see as that has shrunk. The state affirmatively did not want to use Bordeaux as a COVID facility due to, I think, a lot of technical reasons, which, but at the same time, let's celebrate that part of Nashville. It needs investment, it needs vision, it's so well located, it's so beautiful. The people in that community have this jewel there, and again, the long-term vision for the community can't be impeded by the outcome in any way of a single facility. But again, most people don't realize that Signature told us, and again, it's the middle of the pandemic, they'd had an outbreak that they managed fairly well, but you can see the nursing industry is as challenged as any other industry.
All right, more with Mayor Cooper right after this.